Hey Brazen, happy Thursday. For today we have two different parts of our workout. We're going to start first with a 12-minute AMRAP and then follow that up with some interval work of 8 rounds every 2 minutes. Starting up top with this 12-minute AMRAP, we're going to start with 12 straight leg deadlifts, 9 kettlebell swings, 6 handstand push-ups. For these straight leg deadlifts and for these kettlebell swings, you can either use a kettlebell, obviously, dumbbells, or an odd object. Good odd objects could be a big thing of laundry, maybe a thing of Tito's vodka going into the weekend, or a backpack also can work. If you're in class, talk to your coaches, let them know what equipment you're working with, and we'll always be able to come up with something. Starting first with these 12 straight leg deadlifts that we have, I'm going to demo this with a kettlebell so you can get the idea of these. Can also, like I said, do them with a couple of other objects. So from here, we are going to hinge forward, sending our hips straight back, keeping our legs straight, just like it says, straight leg deadlift. Hips go back, hinging forward, going down as far as you can and still keep those legs completely straight, and then stand straight up. I initiate this hinge movement by sending my hips straight back. Legs are totally straight, hips keep going back. Let's say I can only get to here. From here, I would stand straight up. So again, that might look a little bit different for everyone depending on your hamstring flexibility, only going to the point that your legs can stay completely straight. If they start to bend, let's not go that far then. So we have 12 of those into 9 kettlebell swings. I'm gonna demo these as, these could be American swings or they can be Russian swings. I was going to say I can't demo American swings so they might hit the ceiling, but I think that I'm okay standing in at 59 inches. So I'll show both, but be careful based on your ceiling height and your height, you may not be able to do American kettlebell swings. So first we'll show Russian swings, which would just be up to eye level. So hinging at the hip, just going to eye level, or American. Again, that will vary based on your height, your ceiling height. I think I'm good here, but yeah, so just keep that in mind. Again, we can do that with kettlebells. You can also, again, if you had a thing of, let's say, laundry detergent, holding it on its handle, doing those Russian swings to eye level, can also do that with the dumbbell as well. But again, always talk to your coaches during class about different modifications that we can do based on the equipment that you have. Then next we have 6 handstand push-ups. These can be kipping. They can also be strict if you want to continue working on your strict handstand push-ups. That's not prescribed, but again, if that's something that you want to work on, we can continue strict just like we did last week. If you don't have a wall to kick up against, or if you're not at the point where you are able to get inverted, fully inverted, and do a handstand push-up, our modification option is going to be a pike handstand push-up, which we've done a couple of times over the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to start there, then we'll talk about the handstand push-up. So for these pike handstand push-ups, we're going to bring ourselves forward, hands on the ground. You can bend your legs, you can go up on your toes, whatever you have to do. We want to keep our hips nice and high. When we lower our head down, just like if it was a handstand push-up, we want to make contact with the top of our head, not our forehead. Think about tucking your chin under, top of the head is what we want to touch the ground. So from here, I'm going to send my head past my hands, top of the head makes contact, press straight through, head goes through the window at the top. We have 6 of those, or 6 kipping or strict handstand push-ups. Going to change locations for that. For these, I will demo kipping handstand push-ups. Depending on your surface on the ground and kind of what you have, I'm trying to make like a mini target that's a little bit softer because we have hardwood floors and that'll hurt my head going down. If you have a yoga mat, you can do that, just lay a yoga mat flat out. You can also use a pillow. That would be to an elevated target, so not necessarily your RX standard, but we'll still get some handstand push-up practice in. Couple of common faults that we see. One is kicking up too close to the wall. If you kick up too close to the wall, when you lower your legs down, you're not going to have room to get into that little ball before you explode out into your handstand push-up. So you want to be somewhere 6 to 12 inches off of the wall at least in order to bring your legs down fully and get that full benefit of the kip. So keep that in mind when kicking up against the wall. So you'll make your target that you have to keep that noggin nice and safe, like I'll do here. Good. Lower my head away from my hands, come down into that kip, and explode at the top, hips off of the wall. We want to, as you saw when I kicked up, think about slamming your heels if you can, depending on how sturdy your walls are and what you're working with. But it's a cue that helps me, heels against the wall, in order to keep your hips from sagging. So this was something that I struggle with, and sometimes when I'm tired I still struggle with, of my hips sagging. That means that your core isn't engaged. So think about when you're coming out of that kip, squeezing your glutes, engage your core. For me, a cue that has always helped, slamming my heels against the walls you heard when I went up for that kip out of that handstand push-up. And again, you can also do that strict if you want to continue working on that. But again, talk to your coaches. I would just say that if you can, similar to pull-ups, if you don't have a strict handstand push-up yet, let's go with one of the modification options as opposed to doing kipping. We want to make sure that you can lower yourselves under control that lowering down into the bottom of that handstand push-up. We want to make sure you have the strength to do that before doing things like kipping handstand push-ups. They're really flashy, fun movements, but we want to keep you safe. The way that we do that is making sure that you're strong enough for that movement. So now, coming into our second part that we have, after that, we're going to take a rest and then go into 8 rounds every 2 minutes. 3 inchworms to an extended plank, similar to what we do in our warm-up. Going to lean over, walk our hands out, keep walking into an extended plank position, and then walk your hands back in. And you'll do that 3 total times, going out as far as you can for that. Next, we have 6 skull crushers. These are going to focus on your triceps, which is really good accessory work for handstand push-ups. Which is good accessory work for handstand push-ups, focusing on those triceps. I'm going to demo this with a plate because I don't have something light enough. But again, you can use, where should I go? You can use either a kettlebell if you have one that's an appropriate weight, a dumbbell, laundry detergent, a couple of different options. Again, we'll talk about that in class. So starting with your arms fully locked out, we're going to bend only at the elbow, bringing that object kind of towards our head, and then extending straight out. Focusing on isolating that tricep. Bringing that object towards your skull. If you have a plate, you can go kind of past your head, bending at the elbow, extending straight out. Then we have 9 pullovers, so slightly different than that skull crusher. I'm going to start in the same position, fully locked out. I'm going to keep my arms straight the entire time, lowering my object down as far as I can based on my shoulder flexibility or the object that I have, and then come back up. Going back as far as I can, trying to get all the way to the ground, and then back up. That's going to focus a little bit more on your chest versus those skull crushers, a little bit more so focused on your triceps. Then lastly, our hollow body flutter kicks. These we've done a bunch in class. Hollow body position, 1, 2, 3, so on, all the way up to 15, making sure your back is nice and flat the whole time. For that, we're going to want to cap ourselves for this whole, the 8 rounds every 2 minutes. Let's cap ourselves around 1:40, just so that you have some time to rest, transition in between rounds. That's the deal. That's Thursday. Looking forward to seeing everyone in Zoom at 6 o'clock. See ya.